Hello everyone and welcome back to Formula Chart. This is round 6 of the championship, my apologies. And we are at the Okayama circuit, also known as T.I. Aida in Japan. We're currently watching Jaap van Voort. He is going to be the first driver to take us on to a qualifying lap. So let's ride on board with Jaap, the in-forward racing driver from the Netherlands, as he takes us around turn 1. It's a difficult corner. It's wider on the entry than it is on the exit, so it tightens up and it flings you into turn 2. Easy to lose the rear of the car through that. And then you have a couple of sweepers towards what I consider to be probably the toughest corner to get right on the track. It's negatively cambered and goes uphill as well, so the rear tyres are really trying to push on the fronts, and the car can be fairly unpredictable. You then have a medium length straight before a tight hairpin, one of the tightest hairpins in racing, and then a very fun downhill section of left-handers. You're really encouraged to dip the wheels into the grass through there, but you shouldn't. Now we have two slower hairpins just to bring you back towards the end of the lap. And after these two slower hairpins, you get to really open out the throttle and fly through these two faster right-handers towards the end of the course. Jaap van Voort about to complete the first flying lap, and what's the benchmark going to be? It is a 1:21.826, so that's the time for Jaap van Voort, which is faster than Oscar Williams so far, and that's interesting. Oh, big slide, because Williams has scored pole position in the last 3 races. Clank Hughes has just gone to the top in another infrared racing car, and Jack Smith is back. Now, no, I got confused because I thought that it was Jack Smith who wasn't going to be here today. That was actually Maximilian Younger who said that to me. Jack Smith wasn't here last time, so he lost the lead of the championship through that. But he is here today and going to be racing. So welcome back, Jack Smith. And of course, Smith is coming off the back of his double podium in Donington Park. So he'll be hoping to continue on with that form here today. Here he goes into the fun downhill left-handers. Both of them about 90 degrees. They don't really feel 90 degrees. They feel kind of they feel wider than that. But the track brings you back to the direction that you were just going, and then around through the hairpins. Lots of elevation change on this circuit. It's one of those tracks that seems to just be a part of the topography around it, as Williams now does go to the top of the times with a 1:20.789. Let's see if Smith can go any faster. He goes second. Oh no, that's Salem, so Smith goes second now. Salem goes third, 1:21.210 from Smith, just a tenth of a second. And now Niemanen goes to the top, just a tenth of a second faster than Williams. Not a bad time at all. Let's go back around the track a bit and find someone else on the lap. Max Jansen is currently 10th place after his opening attempt. Now Jansen, I think, I don't know if he was here last time out. Well, he was, but he actually missed the first 3 rounds of the championship, so came in late. But anyway, up the hill goes Max Jansen. In terms of the championship, Artie Niemanen, of course, still leads it with his 4 victories. He is yet to finish outside of the top 4 in a race in this series, and considering there have been 8 races, that is not bad at all. Oscar Williams is second in the championship. He has 3 wins so far, although had a DNF at the second race last time at Zandvoort. Sammy Salem is third in the championship. He, of course, won race 2 at Zandvoort. Jack Smith fourth in the championship, despite missing the last round. Meanwhile, I should just mention Williams has improved on his lap, and so has Salem there, so Salem's gone back up to third. Let's see what Jansen does as he comes out of the final corner. He is currently 10th. Does he get higher than that? Jordi Larius jumps to 7th. Janssen pushes him out. So Janssen now goes to 7th. Not a bad job at all. There's Tim Omley running in 13th. Jack Smith starting another lap. I think he's just come out the pits, actually. Yes, judging by the timer, he has just come out the pits, so not starting another lap there. Thomas Marshall, where's he on the leaderboard? He is P20, because this is actually his first competitive lap here. So Thomas Marshall for the first real time up the hill. Very bright white helmet on that. It almost looks like it's glowing. Anyway, let me finish what I was saying before. So, Jaap Van Voort is 5th in the championship behind Jack Smith. Van Voort picked up his first podium of the season last time out. Then it's Martin van Land. Clank Hughes, 1 victory to him. Tim Draper, Alex Cochrane, who missed the last round, and I don't think he's here today either. And then Cyprian Stoyan rounding out the top 10 in the championship standings. So 5 different winners so far this season, now that of course Salem picked up his first last time out. Let's see what Thomas Marshall can do on his first lap. Over 20 cars here today, that's good to see. Big grid, as we always get with Formula Trout. Oh, Marshall going very wide and into the gravel, and that will have thrown that lap, I'm afraid to say. Let's go back and find someone who's on a lap. A couple of people heading back into the pits. Where's Douglas Falcon in the order? He is P12 currently, trying to break into the top 10. Snurd Jaeger is P20, but coming into the pits in the number 20, quite appropriately. Stefan Amide. Richard Tippett there in one of the Vermin Racing team cars. Returning after missing around, so good to see him back. We have actually had a change of driver in one of the teams. Let me just find out about that. I believe it's Dave Southwood has joined 888 Racing, as Ty Isom, of course, left a little while ago. And we have a special one-off design for one of the whoever Vermin Art on Discord is. My apologies that I don't know everyone by name just yet, but anyway, so someone has a special livery. But anyway. Richard Tippett there still heading into the hairpin. I want to find someone maybe in the top 10 who is trying to improve. Dave Southwood is 14th. Oscar Williams, here we go. He was, or he is second, only a couple of hundredths of a second off Arti Nieminen. Only a little way to go in qualifying now. A 15-minute qualifying session, and we've got less than 6 minutes to go. Stephen Happiness says, good evening, Caitlin. Good evening to you as well. Good to see you dropping in the YouTube chat there. No one yet has posted any comments on the Twitch chat, but as I always say, make sure you're following along on your favourite of the streaming platforms. We are live on both YouTube and Twitch, and you can post comments in the live chat on either of them, and I will be trying to read out as many as I can. Now, Williams looks as if he's maybe setting up for a lap here, because he's been doing a bit of weaving. Now, he's not coming into the pit, so yes, he is. He's using this lap here to warm up his tyres and go for a proper run on his second time around. You often see that. I remember commentating a TCR race here where that was very much the strategy, and sometimes the drivers wouldn't get their tyres into temperature until maybe the third lap. Smith now goes back into third place, 121.054. It's only 1600ths or 16 thousandths faster than Sammy Salem, very close there for second place. Not too close. Or for third place, sorry. Not too close between Williams and Smith. There's a bit of a gap there between second and third on the grid. Neiman and Williams in a class of their own as far as lap times are concerned so far. And of course those two first and second in the championship as well, so that's to be expected. But yeah, quite a bit of a gap, and then it's all to play for down behind. Actually, Smith and Salem have even more of a gap to Clank Hughes. but definitely all to play for. Behind that, at least 20 drivers have set flying laps in this qualifying session so far. It's a short track, so it is very, very packed. I'm expecting possibly traffic to come into play if things go wrong for some drivers later on. Oscar Williams out of the final corner. That was a beautiful slingshot, and as he crosses the line, this is going to be not faster. He's only he's less than a tenth of a second down, but it is not an improvement. Now, does he head back to the pits, or does he go straight onto another flying run? This is looking very fast, but I don't see any reason why he wouldn't be trying to fly back to the pit lane if he feels that he can go for another lap after that. Up the hill. That is a very quick start to the lap. He's got so much grip on that car. It almost looked like he was riding a wall of death into turn 4 there. Now down into the hairpin. Passing a slow moving car on an out lap. Careful not to dip wheels into the gravel. That is precise as you like it there. Millimetre perfect is Oscar Williams as he rounds the hairpins into the final sector of his qualifying lap. Now, I don't think he's going to come to the pits on this. Yep, this looks like a full-on flyer to me. Oscar Williams through the final corner, and this is looking very good for him. With just 2 minutes to go in the session, Williams across the line. And he does go pole! 120.609. Now, he hasn't got anywhere near as much of a gap as he would have liked with that, but he has gone pole provisionally. What about Jaap Wagenvoort? What's he doing? Well, he's just started a lap actually, so let's watch this. Little bit of a twitch. Clark Hughes ahead of him has just improved on his time. Wagenvoort P6. Less than a tenth of a second to find to Hughes though, so could still get into the top 5 with this. I don't know who they were trying to kick there. I just saw a kick user voting screen on top. Rob Kinnable, that's interesting. I don't know what who's trying to boot him out of the session, but anyway. Janssen goes up to 8th, a slight improvement for him. He was 9th. Pushes Van Laen down a place. Wagenvoort, they're running over the grass. It's been a little bit of a ragged lap for him. I'm not sure if he's going to improve with this. He may get another attempt. It depends on how many laps he's already been out there for. We've seen that drivers can do 2 or 3 laps in a row. Wagenvoort through the final corner. Williams just improved again. 120.588. That's really, really quick. Jaap Wagenvoort crossing the line. No improvement. He's down on his time. Goes for another one. That was really quick from Williams. Let's look at Nieminen, see if he's improving. He's just completing a lap. This could be important. He may get one more. Nieminen down on his time, a half a second down, so that shows me that that may have been his first flying lap of this run, just trying to get his tyres up to temperature. And maybe this is now his run. Either that or he made a mistake. But the fact that he isn't backing off shows me that he is absolutely intending to go for another run here. Some change of position going on down in the positions just outside of the top 10. Someone pulling off the line. Nieminen not phased by that. It was in a straight line, so he's okay. Into the first of the proper hairpins of the circuit. Down the hill, over the curbs, and towards what could be pole position. He's just under a tenth of a second off in the second sector times there. You saw it on the bottom right hand side of the screen. And the championship leader, Artie Nieminen, could well gain this back in the final sector. Wagenvoort there improved to 6th. Salem to 4th, Hughes to 5th. They all stayed in their positions. What about Nieminen? And he does not improve. He was so close, but does not improve. And that may be the last of the changes that the last of the non-changes, I suppose, that we will see in the session. Apologies for the slight screen flash. I'm just trying to see if anyone is still on the lap. Tim Omlu may be the last car as he crosses the line. P15, P14, there we go. So a slight improvement from Tim Omlu ahead of Rob Kinnable, and that is the end of qualifying. So Oscar Williams takes pole position for the 4th time in a row. He is clearly a qualifying master. Williams first, Artie Niemanen second, Jack Smith third. Then it's Sammy Salem, Clank Hughes, Jaap Wagenvoort, Tim Draper, Martin van Land, Dave Southwood, Max Janssen, Jordi Lauwes, Douglas Valken, Naveo Klink, Tim Omlu, Rob Kinnable, Cyprian Stoyan, David Bull, Richard Tippett, Stefano Amide, Martin Jacek, and then the final 2 drivers on this field, Snow Jaeger and Thomas Marshall. So 22 cars preparing to take the start here at Okayama in Japan. The top 2 are a long way ahead of the field. You see Jaap Wagenvoort in the chat there saying they're absolutely unreachable. It's going to be between Oscar Williams and Artie Niemanen in race 1, you have to feel. Oh, that's a beautiful camera shot there. The side of Oscar Williams' car. His green helmet resplendent, and his eyes focused as he prepares to start the race here. The first of 2 races that we will get at Okayama today. The run to turn 1 isn't a very long one, so if Niemanen can get a good start and get alongside Williams, he may have a chance of getting through into turn 1 here. Oscar Williams needs to rely on using the supreme grip from the grippier side of the road in order to get the lead here at the start, or to keep the lead here at the start. 6 red lights, and when they go out we'll be underway at Okayama. And the first of 2 races is go. Let's take a proper look at the field. Oscar Williams, does he have Niemanen up his inside into turn 1? I think he does actually. Yes, they're still side by side. He is slightly ahead, or at least he was. And turn 2 is a left-hander, but it is Niemanen who claims the lead of the race, sweeps through. So Niemanen leads, Williams second, Salem third. Has everyone made it through cleanly? No, they haven't. Snow Jaeger went for a spin. Jaeger rejoins, so it looks as if everyone's still running despite the incident. Jaap Wagenvoort up to P4, Smith down to P5. What can Williams do into the hairpin? This is the first proper overtaking opportunity of the lap. He's close, he's very close, he goes to the inside. Oscar Williams took a look to the inside, but he wasn't close enough. Slight lock-up. Everyone else streaming through. Jaap Wagenvoort still in 4th place. Good start from him. Jack Smith down to 5th. Towards the end of the opening lap they go. And Williams will set his sights on getting the slipstream into turn 1. That's his best chance. Janssen there seemed to drop 2%. Oh, and there's contact. And Hughes and Draper and Southwood are all off the road. Apologies, we didn't see how that happened. But there has been a crash. Looks as if, Draper may struggle to get out of there. And Jaeger is off again. So let's look back at the front of the field here, while that's all going on behind. Williams was not close enough to Niemanen to get the lead back into turn 1. So Niemanen comfortably, well, relatively comfortably, leads the race after the first lap. It's still very, very close, but he does have the lead in the early stages. Actually, Williams is pretty close here coming out of turn 2. I don't know if he's close enough to pull a move. He probably isn't, but Niemanen can't afford to doze off here because Williams is still piling on the pressure. I believe Rob Kinnable just had a slight spin. He's dropped to P18. P19 make that. Going on for P14, Tippett and Jacek. Oh, make contact! Tippett goes sideways. And Tippett, after being tipped into a little spin there, I am so sorry, rejoins in P16. And Jacek gains the place. Stefano Amide also getting into the points. Of course, unlike Formula 1, points don't just go down to P10, they go down to 15th position, so he will still be scoring points if he finishes there. Williams, fastest of anyone on the second lap, as he continues to try to get his lead back from Arti Nieminen, which he lost into turn 1 on the first lap of the race. It's only a 20-minute race, so there's not really much time, and he needs to get it done. Into the pits and out of the race go... Or no, never mind, Thomas Marshall is back into the race, so I wonder whether that was maybe just a damage repair or a jump start penalty or something like that. Rob Kinnable is also in the pits as we speak, and look at Williams! Williams getting it back on the inside! He got the slingshot, and he's through on the straight line. Oscar Williams, oh, but look at Nieminen, he's still there on the inside! I think that was speculative more than anything, because Williams is clearly and convincingly in the lead. So Oscar Williams will lead us around on the third lap of the race. Cyprian Stoyan has passed Tim Omlu for P12. Now what can Nieminen do about getting Williams back? The roles are reversed. Nieminen will now be getting the slipstream from Williams. But what can he do with it? Does Williams have the pace to break out of the two and give himself a buffer? Williams convincingly the fastest car on the third lap as well, as expected. Tippett's just got back into P15 ahead of Amide. So moves going on in the lower order of the top 15 as well. Now this is the first real slipstream that Nieminen's going to get, apart from, you could say, the start-finish straight, onto the back straight, as Omlu gets 11th from Stoyan, so still changes going on outside of the top 10. And Nieminen really needs to stick with Williams here if he's going to win this race. I wouldn't rely... Oh, is Klink and Falcon side by side? Falcon on the inside. Oh, that's just where we just saw two cars come together. And I think they did touch. They rubbed wheels, but they've got away with it. And ahead of them, a move between... Oh, that's Van Land passing Lauwers. Lauwers, who made a pretty good start to this race. This is one of the highest positions I've seen him run in for a while. But Van Land through into 7th. Williams, once again, the fastest car of anyone. He's been the fastest car on every single lap of the race except the first one. So that's very promising from Oscar Williams there. We're watching Jordi Lauwers, who has just been passed for 7th position, because I don't think he's going to take that lying down. Lauwers, though, he needs to think about... Oh, that's a slide, and he's held it. Great save from Jordi Lauwers. That's going to have cost him a lot of time. It's cost him at least a second, but brilliant save. I was sure that he was going to go around there. You saw the tail just rotating around behind the front axle, and often when that happens you can panic and overcorrect, swing the wheel in the opposite direction, and round it goes. But that was a really good save from Tim Omlu there. Sorry, Jordi Lauwers, not Tim Omlu. Wrong Nova car. Around the final corner of the lap, head the leaders, Williams and Nieminen. Nieminen visibly slightly closer to Williams than on the last lap. I think this will be a quicker lap from... Oh, it's actually not. Look at that. Williams quicker than Nieminen again, but only by a couple of thousandths of a second. Now, did I see some traffic coming up? I did indeed. They're going past Snowdiega, I believe. He's slowing on the left-hand side of the track. And they get through cleanly, thank goodness. So that's the first lap of the day. Wasn't expecting it to be in the first 10 minutes, but you never know what to expect in this. Snowdiega, of course, at Donington. We saw him going right through the gravel a couple of times to get out of the way of leaders. Which works, I guess. But anyway. down through. They're not really sweepers. I don't know what to call that kind of corner. You don't really get that kind of corner anywhere else. They're very unique to Okayama. Tornado66 says, who is the championship leader? That would be Artie Nieminen, who are watching here, who's running in 2nd position. He is leading the championship ahead of Oscar Williams by... Let me just check the... Oh, I clicked the wrong thing. Oh no. Let me get the driver standings back. Okay, he is leading the points by... actually 38 points, so quite a long way. And Williams here is trying to close the gap a bit. It's going to be difficult. As I said at the start of this broadcast, Artie Nieminen has yet to finish outside of the top 4 in this series, despite the reverse grid, or the partially reverse grid, race 2. But anyway, Nieminen has now dropped out of the 1 second buffer. A bit of an arbitrary buffer when you don't have DRS, but anyway, psychologically that will have an impact on our team there. So we're now... Oh, as Falcon has got past... Oh, they're side by side still. Falcon and Clink, who we saw going side by side in this section just a couple of laps ago, are doing it again. This time they don't rub wheels. And Falcon stays behind Clink. He was very racy there. Tim Omlu also looking very racy behind them as well. Before, of course, we were watching Jack Smith on the back of Jaap Wagenvoort because they are much closer than they were before. But Falcon, I think, is surely going to have to get past Clink soon. He's... With no disrespect to Clink, Falcon looking a bit quicker at this point in the race, and has taken 2 or 3 attempts at getting past Clink's car so far. All of them unsuccessful, even though nearly successful, but you don't get any points for nearly successful, sadly. Here we go. This is the part of the track where he's got alongside him a couple of times already. Does he do it again? Slipstream, use the car in front as a windshield. And, oh, and look at that! Clink moved over very late to defend from Falcon there. Falcon went back to the other side of the track and Clink's gone slightly wide. They're on the opposite side of the track to what they were on for the last 2 laps. And Clink had a little wiggle. So Falcon is through. Does Tim Omlu come through as well? Well, Omlu is going to have the inside. Well, he was going to have the inside for the next corner, but had to drop back. Just didn't have the momentum. So Falcon did indeed get past Clink, just as I expected might happen. And Tim Omlu and Ciprian Stoyan, who's right there as well, may be about to break into the top 10. We'll see what they can do about Naveo in front of them. Across the line again go Falcon, Clink, Omlu and Stoyan. All of them pretty affected by that. Clink especially. But yeah, that's really brought Stoyan into the mix. We're over half of the way through the first of 2 races here today. And just over 8 minutes remaining until we get the checkered flag. Of course, it doesn't just end then and there. When the timer ticks to 0, that will indicate that the lap they're on will be the last lap. But anyway, Clank Hughes passing Tippett for 14th, just off screen. Looks like Clink's dropped back a bit from Falcon here, so he's more under pressure from Omlu. Nieminen briefly got in within a second of Williams again. His last lap was 0.3 of a second faster. He's dropped outside of that buffer again, it seems. Jack Smith. I've been watching that gap for a couple of laps now, because it's been as near as makes no difference, 3.5 tenths of a second pretty much all of the time. Oh, big slide from Smith, and another great save, just as we saw from Lawes. Now that is going to take his chance of getting past Wagenvort away for this lap, but that could have been so much worse for Jack Smith. That's not a corner you want to get a twitch like that through. It's so easy to lose it on the exit. But yeah, Jack Smith held that one and didn't really lose that much time to Wagenvort. Got away with it much better than Lawes did just now. Omler, I think, has got past Klink. He's on the inside. Klink sees him, luckily. Klink's still there, though. Goes straight back through again. Omler has to be careful that he doesn't let Stoyan through in this. Into the hairpin, Stoyan takes a look. They all take a look. Look at that. Oh, no! And Stoyan, I think, has just locked up and run very wide. He's hit the wall. It looks to me as if Stoyan was slightly caught off guard by the cars in front of him. Locked his brakes and just slid straight on. He's got his teammate David Ball, right behind him there. Any damage for Stoyan? No steering damage by the looks of it. But he's very lucky to have got away with that one. That was quite something. Now, Smith has got to hook up this corner. Get it right. Oh, he hasn't got it right. He's got it very wrong. Jack Smith gets it very wrong. Jack Smith, that was one of the worst corners I've seen in this race so far. And he's lost 5th to Janssen. Sometimes the hunter gets hunted. It didn't take much for Max Janssen to gain 5th position there. After Jack Smith made a huge mistake mid-corner, the car just got around on him. It was as he started to put the power down, it looked very stable until then. But yeah, around it went. Nova Finlandia in the chat says, is Salem 3rd? Yes indeed, Sammy Salem's still running in 3rd. Haven't really had much of a reason to look at him yet. But anyway, Tim Omley's just got past Klink, who I think's made a mistake, because he's dropped 3 seconds back. So that's for 10th place there. Wagenvort now within a second of Salem. Look at that, his last lap was 1.5 seconds quicker, so I reckon Salem made a mistake there. Yeah, Wagenvort very quick on that last lap anyway. And that wasn't even his personal best. Niemanen back within a second of Williams. Out in front. Keeps breaking that gap and then it just comes out again. You do tend to see that sometimes, but yeah, he's got less than 4.5 minutes left if he is going to have a meaningful attack on Williams. Wagenvort there really showing himself to the mirror of Salem. He was nowhere near Salem's car into the braking zone, but just pulled out and made sure that he could see him in his mirrors. Sometimes it can just unsettle the car in front of you and make it easier for you to go through. It's what you hear people referring to as getting in their head. Yeah, Wagenvort really hunting here, especially since he doesn't have Smith on his tail now, so he isn't feeling quite so hunted. Dave Southwood has passed Dave Bull for P14, so Southwood on a bit of a recovery drive there. Not going to be worth much, sadly. P14 only worth 2 points, but it's better than nothing. Yeah, Wagenvort 7/10 of a second behind Sammy Salem at this point in time. As I was saying, oh, and Wagenvort runs over the grass. He'll have lost about 3/10 of a second in that, maybe 4, maybe more. And drops. Oh, who was that off the road? I believe that was Rob Kinnable. Yeah, Rob Kinnable there, who was running in P20, has parked the car. Well, he's got it going again, but come on, there we go. A lap down, I'm afraid, so Rob Kinnable not having a good day, and Niemanen is launching a full-on attack here. He is under half a second behind Williams all of a sudden. Where did that come from? I'm expecting to see a personal best from Niemanen at the end of this lap, potentially. What a first sector that was from RT. What a first sector that must have been, unless Williams made a mistake, but Williams doesn't tend to make mistakes. Let's see what the lap times are. 0.8 of a second quicker from Nieminen. He is flying. As Hughes passes Klink for P11. So with less than 2 minutes to go, Williams is leading from Nieminen, but only just. Salem is third from Wagenvoort, but only just. Then it's Jensen, Smith, Van Land, Lauweys, Falken, and Omlu, but Falken and Omlu still close and could change. Stefano Amide, I think, has had a spin. Gets it running. This is the battle for the lead. It's going to come down to the final lap of the race, which I'm expecting to be next time around. This is going to be a very exciting finish to the first of 2 races here at Okayama. Slight twitch from Nieminen. He's got to get his mind back in focus for these 2 corners. These could be really important in getting his car close enough to swipe. I'm not sure he's going to be close enough onto the start-finish straight, but he still has another opportunity after that, which of course will be the back straight. Let's ride on board with Nieminen. In fact, let's go full on driver's eye view. As Nieminen goes up into 6th gear, down into 4th. I was expecting 3rd through that corner, but these cars very fast. Lots of downforce, allowing you to carry that speed through turn 1. Back up into 6th. Down into 4th again. Now he uses 3rd. And he will be too far back here. Surely he's got to rely on Williams making a mistake now. It's going to be a close finish, but surely there's just no way through for the remaining part of the lap. Cyprian Stoyan's just dropped out of the points. He's had a spin. So that puts Tippett into the points. Cyprian Stoyan gets it back on the road. Omlu passing Falken for P9, but... Oh, Falken back past Omlu. They're having a bit of a ding-dong duel going on to the back straight. But let's not miss the end of this race. Yeah, look at the times Niemenen's given up. He knows that Williams has got it now. Through the final corner, Oscar Williams wins race 1 of 2 from Artie Nieminen, brings in the gap in the championship ever so slightly. Nieminen still leading it comfortably. Let's watch this fight for P5 now. Janssen and Smith, this is really close. Janssen's just going to hold it. Falken just passed Omlu for 9th. Smith getting all over the grass. But it's too little too late, look at that. Jensen just ahead of him, and Falken drops out of the top 10, so it's going to be Omlu 9th and Hughes 10th. They were having a cracking scrap to the finish. It's a shame we couldn't see more of it, but yeah, cracking. Tim Draper, I think, off as he... Well, it doesn't look like he came together with Marshall because that's in a very different part of the road, but both of them have just had offs. Ooh. Marshall also apparently running a special livery for the day, but not showing it off in the best of fashion. His tyres are absolutely dead, and he collides with someone else there. Whoever that was, Rob Kinnable, just the innocent victim in that one. Neither of them having a good day at all. And Marshall actually waits for Kinnable to go through that. So Williams won this race from Nieminen, Salem, Janssen, Smith, Van Land, Lauweys, Omlu, Hughes. That means that Hughes will get the reverse grid pole for finishing in 10th position. Then it's Falken, Southwood, Klink, Bull, Tippett, Jacek just missing out on points as Kinnable crashes just after the finish line. Stoyan, Amide, Draper, who apparently finished in the pit lane or didn't finish at all, Kinnable, and Marshall, who we saw colliding at the end, and Snowd-Jaeger was the final cut. So everyone will be classified in that race, I believe, but some of them having much worse times of it than others. But what a drive from Williams and Nieminen, really close fight right to the end. And a good podium for Sammy Salem, one of the most consistent drivers of the season. Don't go anywhere, we do still have a second race coming up very, very shortly, where the winners of race 1 are going to have to fight through from 10th on the grid in order to win again. So for race 2, Clank Hughes will be on pole, followed by Tim Omloo, Jordi Lauwys, Martin van Land, then Jack Smith, Max Janssen, Jaap Wagenvoort, Sammy Salem, Artie Nieminen, and Oscar Williams will have to come through from 10th on the grid. Let us know if you're watching along and if you're enjoying it so far. I hope you are, because that was a really, really exciting first race there, and I'm sure the second one will be just as exciting or more. But yeah, now we just have to wait for the race to tick over. We also have a... Never mind. Sorry, I'm getting my series confused. I was going to say something that is complete nonsense, but anyway. Indeed, when the race session ticks over, it will go immediately to the grid formation for race 2, with the top 10 in reverse order. Only a partially reversed grid, of course. It would be absolute carnage if we reversed the entire grid, but it's reversed enough to really shake up the race and give some other people a chance. That's one of the reasons that so many drivers were fighting over that P10 spot. It's because it's just so important in a race like this. You see the winning margin in the end there was 1.5 seconds, but the leaders really were in a class of their own. They were 10 whole seconds ahead of Sammy Salem at the end there, showing just how fast Oscar Williams and Artie Nieminen actually are. And that's not discrediting anyone else, but you have to say, Williams and Nieminen, definitely the fastest two here. A couple of drivers not very happy in the chat there. Apologies if you saw anything not exactly PG. Tim Draper not happy with Rob Kinnable, who apparently collided with him a lap down. So, Clank Hughes starting from pole position alongside Tim Omloo, Jordi Lauwys, Martin van Land, Jack Smith, then it's Janssen, Wagenvoort, Salem, Nieminen, Williams, Falcon, Southwood, Klink, Bull, Tippett, Jacek, Stoyan, Amide, Kinnable, Marshall, and Jaeger, and then Draper, the 22 cars in this race. Don't know why it's gone straight to Jack Smith. Well, I can't seem to find the leader here, but anyway, it is going to be Clank Hughes and Tim Omloo. There's Hughes. So Clank Hughes in the KitKat sponsored car for In-Forward Racing prepares to start. There's the engine note, and we're away for the second time. Let's take a look and see what's going on at the front of the field. Clank Hughes, much better start than the leader got in race 1. Tim Omloo has to settle for second, so Hughes leads into the turn 1, followed by Omloo. Nova Finlandia cars second and third, with Lauwys in third. Does everyone make it through turn 1 cleanly? Stefano Amide is in the gravel. Jacek and Marshall also seemingly involved. What happened is unclear. Amide taking to the grass to rejoin the circuit. I believe I just saw Nieminen. Oh, Salem is off with... Oh, big hit! I believe Snowed Jaeger was the driver who piled in there. But Salem is off, and Nieminen is off as well! So the championship leader involved, and that is going to take a big chunk out of his championship lead, I expect. But yeah, 2 of the Scuderia Totorosso cars off on the first lap. Lawes around the outside of Omlu. They're side by side. Jack Smith and Janssen coming through. They're 3 wide into a hairpin. That's not going to work. How did they get away with that? Smith was right in the middle of them. Surely they should have ended up sandwiching themselves against the barrier. But somehow they're still side by side. Look at that. And Omlu keeps second. Brilliant defending. That was brilliant defending from Tim Omlu there. And at the end of the first lap, Hughes is leading by 4 seconds. That's a huge gap. Again, another awful pun, I'm sorry. Omlu second, Lawes third. Lawes again looking at the back of Omlu's car. Jack Smith, Max Janssen, the top 5. Draper and Bull swapping places, that's for P9. Nieminen is all the way down to P18 on this opening lap of the race, as Smith now comes around the outside of Lawes. He's going to be forced onto the grass if he's not careful. Lawes sees that he's there though. Max Janssen, almost making it 3 wide. Williams is the other yellow car in that, the Vermin Racing. Coming through. Jack Smith definitely got that move done. Goodness, that's a bad place to go 3 wide. Williams went through as well. Oh, and off goes Janssen. Janssen into the wall. That would have been a big crash in real life. He would have definitely torn the wheel off. Luckily, of course, we were only on partial damage due to being on a solo Corsa. But anyway, Smith and Williams making it through the competitors very quickly. And I wouldn't be surprised if Smith is trying to help Williams here and will allow him through when they get past Omlu. If they get past Omlu, of course. Omlu defending very well so far in this race. Hughes fastest lap on lap 2. And that's because he's basically the only driver with clean air in front of him, apart from Omlu, who has all of these cars scrambling all over his back. Artie Nieminen now sets the fastest lap of the race, as he is trying to recover, although he's still down in 18th position, battling with Jacek, sorry. Here is Jack Smith, slipstreaming Tim Omlu, goes to the outside line of the hairpin. Now you can make that stick because the next corner is a left-hander, but you need to be all the way alongside on the exit. And he gets it done, look at that. Well done to Jack Smith. Williams not quite able to follow him through that. But that was nicely done. Now Smith will try to go after Hughes. Well, Williams fights with Omlu. But P3, Jordi Lawes, Dave Southwood also coming with them. Southwood made a good recovery. Remember, he was off on the second lap of race 1. And now he's up to 6th position in race 2 here. Clank Hughes again, fastest lap. Doing a great job out in front. 6 seconds is his lead. Defensive goes Omlu. Williams going for a faster exit. That was much faster. Omlu knows they're side by side. Has to take a much shallower lane. And Lawes gets a run in this as well. Williams through into 3rd. Is this finally Lawes' chance to get past his teammate? I think it might be. So Williams is indeed through to 3rd. 2 Vermin Racing cars in the top 3. That's how they like it. They would prefer if they were P1. Look at that! Dave Southwood to the inside, to the outside as well. 3 wide on the straight. Into the hairpin. Someone's got a back out, and it was Omlu. They touch slightly on the exit. They get away with it. Dave Southwood up to P4. Great driving from Dave. That was really, really good. Very nerve-wracking, says Nova Finlandia. Indeed, yeah. Both drivers were wasting time a little, but they're still running in 5th and 6th position, which wouldn't be a bad result. Draper passing Van Land for P7. And that's been done. Clank Hughes again fastest. He's still really pushing, isn't he? And I don't blame him. He sees that he's got Smith and Williams behind him. So he's got to push if he's going to still win this race. And I think he stands a really good chance of it, to be honest. Another lap. Van Land right there in the Look at that. The 4th down to about 15th. You don't get a gap of more than a second. That's quite something there. We've got a real chain of cars. Klink now to the outside of Van Land. And someone, Lauwys, was going very slow on the exit. Did Lauwys maybe spin mid-corner? Lauwys has dropped out of the top 10. Big shame for him. He had a really good start. And yes, he's down to P11 now. 3 wide again. Sorry for that little notification sound. 3 wide again into the hairpin. I'll shut down Google Hangouts. Don't know why I had it open still. Oh, a touch. Falcon almost getting forced off into the grass. We almost had another Max Janssen movement, and someone else is off. David Bull and Martin Van Land. Well, we didn't see how that happened, but I presume they tangled on the exit. One of them may be coming across to defend, the other one still there. Kinnable and Tippett have just come together ahead of them as well. They're in the wall. As Oscar Williams sets the fast lap of the race, but yeah. Contacts up and down the field, I'm afraid to say. It's been a little bit messy. Tippett spun again. His tyres will be absolutely toast at this point. Here's Tim Draper. He's caught up to the back of Tim Omlu. 2 different Tims. Draper. Better exit. Purple helmet. In the slipstream. He's approaching, but too far back for the time being. In the background as well, Klink and Wagenvoort having a battle for P7. The order still not oh, and Lauwys off again! Now that was at the hairpin. So Lauwys has had another incident somewhere off screen, and Ati Niemanen's already back up into P12. Great recovery from Niemanen. He's easily going to be into the top 10 by the end of this if nothing bad happens. But yeah. Big shame for Jordi Lauwys. Oh, and he's back past Niemanen. How's that happened? I think Niemanen made a mistake there. Yeah, he must have done, because Lauwys, well, unless someone else tagged Niemanen, but yeah, Lauwys back through. Williams again, fast lap of the race. Are the Vermin cars going to swap, or are they going to catch up to Hughes first? I reckon they'll probably swap if Williams gets close enough to Smith, but they won't want to lose too much time right now, since they still do have a chance of catching up to Clank Hughes. Draper now has a much better chance of passing Tim Omlu this lap. In the slipstream. No DRS on these cars, but they get side by side anyway. As Klink and Wagenvoort also do the same in the background. Draper around the outside. Well done. Very well done. Wagenvoort also makes the move stick as well. So it's successful hunting ground for a bunch of guys this time around is the hairpin. And Tim Omlu is down to P6 in that, as Van Land gets back ahead of Jacek. I don't know why I'm convinced his name ends in an S, because it doesn't, but anyway. Oscar Williams, once again, fastest lap. He set that for about the last 3 or 4 laps. Just showing that he's really pushing. And I do think there's a high chance that the Vermin racing cars are going to swap, because as much as Smith may have been a championship contender, he did miss the last round, and as a result probably won't be now. He's down to 4th in the championship, whereas Williams is 2nd. And surely they're swapping. They are. So through goes Williams, past Smith, and we all saw that coming. So Oscar Williams, 2nd place now. Jack Smith down to 3rd. Now, can they reel in Clank Hughes? He's 6 seconds down the road. I'm not sure that's doable, to be honest. But they're going to try it. Williams and Smith, probably slightly faster drivers than Clank Hughes. No disrespect to Clank. And Williams, of course, has been showing that by setting fastest lap after fastest lap, but 6 seconds is a big, big margin. If anyone can do it, Oscar Williams can. Maybe Artie Nieminen as well could in that position, but Nieminen down in 13th fighting with Jordi Lauwys and that other bunch of cars down there. Oh, Jacek and Van Land I think have had it coming together. Jacek off the road, touches the wall. Van Land also touches the wall. And Van Land may be out here. So yeah, a couple of drivers off the road, and Van Land I believe is a retirement. Big shame for him. No point watching Smith for the time being, so let's watch Jaap van Voort. He has been catching Tim Omloo. Quite a rate of knots, to be honest. Just under 8.5 minutes to go in this race now, depending on where they are on the lap when the time takes to 0, of course. But near enough. Ooh. Van Voort took a look at Omloo, forced him to go defensive. That is exactly what Van Voort wanted. Oh, and Smith's had an incident. Smith's had an incident. His name came up as red on the timing, which meant that he'd been off. And he's down to P5. Well, that's a bizarre one. I wasn't seeing any signs of pressure on Smith, so he's throwing it away all by himself. Down to P5. Southwood now up into the podium. That's quite something. Goodness me. Where did Dave Southwood start this race? Let me go back and have a look quickly. But yeah, great performance from Dave Southwood. Really quite something. I believe he started 12th. Yeah, P12 for Dave Southwood. So for him to score a podium from that, that is going to be an achievement and a half. But anyway, Jack Smith is now almost under pressure from Omloo and Van Voort having their own battle. Nieminen up to 10th. Van Voort I think is about to take a look at Omloo again. To the left hand side. Around the outside. That's difficult, and he lights up the rear tyres and has to get on the brakes, so that's not going to be an overtake there. And yes, Artie Nieminen is into the top 10. Great recovery from him. Cyprian Stoyan fighting with his teammate Douglas Falcon. Jordi Lauwys right there. Salem has had another incident, this time with Amide. Salem had a great race 1. A very dodgy race 2, I'm afraid to say. That puts Kinnable into the points. Across the line again. Southwood, fastest, or personal best lap of the race, I should say. Still pushing in these relatively late stages. Towards the uphill right-hander they go. Jack Smith definitely closing back on Draper here. It looks as if he's not done yet. Towards the hairpin they go again. Takes a look. Decides against it. Wisely so. Omloo and Van Voort in the background still close. That's where Van Voort made his mistake a lap ago. And Janssen right with them as well. Janssen's been making quite an understated but impressive recovery drive. In fact, he might be about to make a move there. Well, that was close. Looked as if he was going to. Didn't quite. Someone's had a lock up there. Seems to have got away with it though. Didn't see any cars on the outside or whatever. And Klink just lost 2 places. So Nieminen... Oh, and who's that off the road? That looks like... Huh. Well, I don't know who it was, but anyway. Well, that would have been... maybe Falcon? Huh. Okay, anyway. Don't know how Omloo's been holding them up for this long. This is a really, really good defensive showing from him here. very, very nerve-wracking. It's one of the worst feelings. Oh, as Wagenvoort has a big twitch. Yes, it's one of the worst feelings sitting in front of a bunch of cars and knowing that if one goes through, they're all coming through. Janssen to the outside. That's a real opportunity there. Oh, lock up from Wagenvoort. He's going to run wide in defence. And that's going to give Janssen the place. So Janssen through to P7. And Wagenvoort down to P8. Wasn't expecting that to happen before Omlu got past by anyone. Oh, Rob Kinnable. Well, he was on for points, despite his incident near the start of the race, but he's had another incident now. Spins up the race. That's out of the final corner. Unusual place to go off. Klink passing Lauwais there. So that puts Salem back into the points. Kinnable would have really liked a points finish after his first race, but anyway. So, up the hill again. Omlu, Janssen and Wagenvoort. Smith is past Draper for P4. Apologies for missing it, but yes, Smith is past Draper for P4. And is less than 2 seconds behind Southwood. That could still change depending on how quick Smith is and how much he's kept his tyres. Wagenvoort to the inside. Not sure if Janssen could do anything. Wagenvoort almost touched Omlu there. Oh, he's going to go round. Wagenvoort once again gets it sideways. Now, was there contact with anyone there? Or did he just overcook it like before? Janssen is up to 6th. Omlu coming back at him to the inside. Omlu still there. They don't quite touch. They get away with it. Niemanen up to 8th now ahead of Wagenvoort. And yes, Janssen keeps 6. I'm just going to look back at the replay quickly. Now Wagenvoort very nearly touched Omlu on the entry. And I don't think that Janssen touched him on the exit. I think he spun all by himself. It was a fairly good save actually. As they pass a slow moving car. Who's that? Rob Kinnable. And Snow Jaeger there giving way as well. Kinnable getting past Jaeger in the process. Bit of a free place, but anyway, it won't really matter the right side of the points. Williams has caught up to Hughes! Wow! I was not expecting to see him within a second anytime soon. And that wasn't due to a mistake from Hughes. He's been reeling him in for laps. But I wasn't expecting him to actually get that close. Williams is so quick here. As I said in race 1, he's in a field of his own, but well, with Niemanen, but he only has one more lap. Once again, we are going to have a very exciting finish. Oh, as someone spins in the background, that's a lap car, Amide, I believe. Final lap of the race. Williams is lapping a second a lap faster than Hughes. If he was to do so again, he would win, but there's a car in the way. Clank Hughes' car. Here we go. This could be his last chance of overtaking unless Hughes makes a mistake. Down the straight. How much later can Williams brake than Hughes? I don't think he's close enough. Takes a look, tries to unsettle Hughes. That's a last ditch attempt. Final lap confirmed. Smith may still get third place from Southwood. This is a tense lap for Vermin Racing. Oh, Smith has got Southwood for third. So Southwood, sadly for him, won't be finishing on the podium. Great drive from Smith, apart from his spin earlier on. Won't end up mattering, but well, the spin won't end up mattering anyway. Williams to the outside, look at that! Forces Hughes to take an in-ideal line. Through the final corner, they're side by side. It's going to be a drag race. We got a drag race to the line. Who's it going to be? Oh! Well, my screen's saying Williams. My screen's saying it's Williams. And It's Clank Hughes! By 200ths of a second! You do not get much closer than that! That is absolutely brilliant! Clank Hughes apparently has won it by 200ths of a second, despite my screen saying it's much less than that. That is incredible! That's one of the closest finishes that I've ever commentated on in a race. So Hughes just wins, and I don't know if he knows he's won. Williams and Smith having a celebratory crash. You don't see that in any other racing sports. Southwood P4, Draper P5, Janssen, then Omlu, Nieminen, Wagenvoort, Stoyan, Falcon, Klink, Lauwers, Bull, Salem. Jacek will just miss out on points. And then it'll be Amide, Kinnable, Jaeger and Tippett. What a finish that was! My goodness! Yeah, I'm struggling to think of any other races that I've seen that have been that close. You just don't get finishes like that. But yeah, Clank Hughes, I'm presuming he's the winner. My screen on the left-hand side, or my timing tower doesn't think so, but I think he won. Wow. Goodness me. So there's your order. Clank Hughes, Oscar Williams, 200ths of a second, 22 thousandths. Jack Smith, Dave Southwood, Tim Draper, Megs Janssen, Tim Omlu, Artie Nieminen, Jaap Wagenvoort, Cyprian Stoyan, Douglas Falcon, Nevaeh Klink, Jordi Lauwers, David Bull, Sammy Salem, Martin Jacek, Stefano Amide, Rob Kinnable, Snow Jaeger, Richard Tippett, Martin Van Land, and Thomas Marshall, with the latter two sadly not finishing the race. I want to see if either of the top two said anything in the chat after that. Actually, not. Oh yeah, Oscar was crazy quick, says Clank Hughes. He was indeed. Clank Hughes really celebrating, and he deserves to. That was a brilliant drive from Clank Hughes there. I have to say, my driver of the day was Oscar Williams because of his pace in both races. Absolutely supreme, but Clank Hughes right up there. Great drive. Now, I don't know if we're going to get any drivers in for interviews. I don't think we did. Oh no, we did last time. But anyway, we'll see if that ends up happening. Just going to wait for a few minutes before ending the stream. And now, of course, it's a good time to say this championship is far from over, and if you want to see more of this, join us in 2 weeks time, where we will be live from the streets of Po. Going to be very, very interesting because Po, of course, one of the tightest street circuits in the world, and these cars put on a show wherever they go. So I'm sure that Po will be no different. After Po, of course, we have Estoril 2 weeks from that, then Paul Ricard 2 weeks from that, and the championship will finish at the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit 2 weeks from that. So, let's speak to Oscar Williams, who has finished second in both races and brought in the gap to the championship leader relatively considerably. Oscar, do you hear us?
I do. Do you hear me? I finished first race one. Don't undersell me like
that. Oh, sorry. I meant... okay. Anyway. So, Oscar, you were one of the... one of the quickest drivers, if not the quickest driver, all day. Your fourth pole position in a row, and then 2 magnificent podiums, including a win. Talk us through it.
Well, I always have to push like crazy because R2 is unbelievably quick, so it always comes down to the wire in qualifying between us. And I don't know whether I was happy or sad to get pole, because every time I get pole, he seems to beat me. So, but anyway, race one, he got a much better start than I did. So I was like, oh God, here we go again. But the overtake on him, that was some awesome racing. I don't know whether you caught it on camera, but yeah, I enjoyed that.
Believe we did, yeah.
And then, yeah, race one was just a case of putting my head down and not looking at the time, because last time I looked at the time, I span. Did you catch the moment when, I don't know who it was, who span at turn 3? And I saw it at the last second, and I thought my race was over.
Well,
It ruined my gap to R2, so I thought, this is it. He's going to be able to get in the slipstream now, but I held off and pulled out another gap. So, yeah, awesome race, and race 2 was just crazy.
Wow. Yeah, I don't think we saw that, but anyway,
Okay.
glad it didn't end up like that. That would have been absolutely tragic. But anyway, that finish with Clank Hughes, that last lap, you came from being 2 seconds back, maybe a lap or two before the end, to finishing pretty much side by side with him. I'm still not entirely sure what the finishing margin was. The game said it was 22 thousandths of a second. Are you disappointed? How did it feel?
Honestly, it's the happiest I've ever felt to finish second, because I mean the gap was like 9 seconds, and I knew he was roughly like 8 tenths, maybe half a second slower per lap. So I was just like, right, I'm just gonna push like crazy and see what happens towards the end of the race. I think he began to struggle with his tyres, so I thought, right, I'll just keep sending it and see what happens. But yeah, that finish at the end was mad. I mean, props to him, man. He held on, held his nerve. So fair play, well deserved win.
Absolutely, but anyway, so as I also mentioned, you brought in the gap to Artie Newman in the championship quite considerably. He did have a huge lead coming into today, and he does still have a fairly sizable lead. But do you feel that the championship is still maybe on the horizon? Maybe doable?
Keep going and see what happens, man. I mean, what do you know what the points gap is? It doesn't matter anyway. But
I haven't calculated it. Yeah.
No, we keep racing and then see what happened. He had some bad luck today in race 2. I felt I've had a couple of bad race 2 luck. So swings and roundabouts. I'm sure we'll both be neck and neck at the end of the season anyway. So.
Well, thank you very much for talking to us, and good luck at Po. Goodness me, Po next.
Oh god, I've never driven it. I look forward to it.
Good luck. Anyway, so that was Oscar Williams, our race 1 winner and race 2 second place, and we will now go to another podium finisher today, Jack Smith. Jack, do you hear us?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, there we go. Jolly good. So Jack, a third place in race 2. Let's start with that since it's a positive. How do you feel about that, and especially your move for third near the end?
Yeah, no, it was race 2 went much better than race 1 anyway. So, but yeah, the start was great. I think I got someone off the line, and after that, just trying to get past the 2 Nova boys at the start of the race. I don't know if you saw that train that was forming in the first 2 laps, but
Yep.
yeah, trying to get past the 2. Yeah, there was, because they were much slower on pace than me and Oscar. We were sort of getting held up, and I just wanted to get through as fast as possible between those guys. So once I found an opening on Geordie, I had to make another move on Tim later on, and I found I got a little bit of damage from Tim in the hairpin, but it wasn't too much anyway. And then after that, start pulling away, and then I accidentally dropped it after I let Oscar past. So and then it was just a comeback game from 5th to 3rd again, and Dave let me past in the end. So yeah, it was a decent finish.
Did you think your chance for podium was over with that spin?
When I dropped it, pretty much, yeah. I didn't think I'd be able to come back, but the guys in front weren't as quick as I thought they would be, because I thought Tim would be quite quick. But yeah, I've got Alex tagging me now, slandering the Nova name. That's funny, but yeah. So yeah, once I caught Tim, Dave was in front, and I just kept catching him. And then in the end, because he's our second team driver, a brand new driver, he's going to be getting brownie points after this race for sure. But
Yeah.
he let me past on the straight on the last lap, so it was perfect. Really got us max points for Vermin in that race. So yeah, really good.
Jolly good. It was indeed a second and third, so double podium for Vermin in race 2 there. Race 1 pretty good as well. Some solid points. You say you didn't feel as happy about that.
No, yeah, it started 4th in that one after qualifying, I believe. I might have been 3rd. Yeah, I think I started third in that one because I beat Clank by like 7,000, which was really close. But so yeah, I had a really bad start. As you know, the radar app for Assetto Corsa.
Yep.
I had my overlay on, so my sim overlay, and the radar was underneath the overlay, so I had no like gauge of where anyone was. So I sort of had to play really cautious in the first two corners, and I dropped a few positions there because of it. So yeah, that was a pain. And then yeah, just didn't have the pace. And I think I dropped it in that race as well, so down to sixth, and I couldn't get past Yap at all. Yap was incredibly defensive in that one. And he did a really good job holding me back. So yeah, it was a really good race that one, but just a shame about the result.
Well, congrats on your solid points in both races, especially for your team as well. Yeah, very good race.
Yep, thank you very much. Thank you for streaming as well. It was a good stream this one, so.
No problem, it's my pleasure. Anyway, so that was Jack Smith, and that indeed will be the end of the broadcast. So, as I said, join us in 2 weeks' time for the Streets of Pro, which should be fascinating. And yeah, until then, good night.